How's it going? We are talking about physical security and lockpicking today. It's gonna be an awesome event. I'm super excited to talk about it because I get to kind of talk a little bit about some of my experience personally being around physical security, as well as a lot of different implementations of it in my previous internships. And then we get to go into lockpicking, which is gonna be super fun. Lockpicking is going to be talking a little bit about the different types of locks and a bunch of different techniques. So it should be exciting. Is it quicker?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. Perfect. So this is the flag. I'll give you guys a few minutes to type it in. I love the meme. I think it's published.
I'm not sure. Sagna, can you check if the flag's published? And if not, can you get it up?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm sorry.
Skip over this one, I'll get it.
Wait a second.
You look at it and on the end, just not sure it's published.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what is physical security? I think physical security is a bunch of different things. Obviously, this past Sunday, we talked about operational security, and we talked about how you can take different practices to secure your passwords in a way that is some semi-physical and semi-virtual, whereas today we are talking about entirely physical. So think about if you were to stash a bunch of money in your house, right? And you have a bunch of money and your neighbor also has a bunch of money, but you are the one that has a super big barrier or some sort of big sword, and you're able to defend off these like attackers that are trying to attack you. That is what physical security is in a way. You're obviously not gonna be on the offensive like you're in, you have a sword or something, but you're going to be able to secure what you actually have compared to your neighbor who anybody could go up to and steal their money. So kind of just going to the actual like definition, it is just deterring threat actors for a physical thing rather than a virtual one, in short. And so, yeah, you can think of like gates, guards, guns, but this is kind of scaled up. As you get to really big companies, you're going to see a lot more physical security. Whereas as the company gets a little bit smaller, or it's just you and you're doing your $1 billion startup, it's just going to be you. You're probably going to have maybe just like, I don't know, maybe like a password and like a password manager, and making sure that your laptop's closed and stays away from other people. Can you turn this?
Yeah, I can
a
do
little
it.
bit? Yeah, appreciate it.
Apologies.
Thank you.
All good.
Yeah, so physical security has some sort of access control. So we allow people that we only want inside and don't want people that we don't want on the, or we want people that we don't want on the outside and people that we do want on the inside. Think of this like rotating door where you scan your badge and you're able to get in. In one of my past internships with State Farm, when we were working in the research park campus down in the Research and Development Center in the south of UIUC, we had badges. And one thing that we would do is we would make sure that whenever we scanned our badge and we opened the door, nobody else would tailgate. That's like an example of physical security, thinking that we have this physical door that we don't want. We want people who we don't want on the outside and people who we do want on the inside. And one way that we did that was with a badge and with a door. That is a simple, probably one of the most basic versions of physical security. And in this example, they have a rotating door, but keys and key cards are also different methods of entry that can allow you to separate people that you do or don't want into and out of your company. And then surveillance. One thing that's interesting about surveillance isn't actually a physical security, it's more of a psychological security in some ways, where you have people who, let's say you're trying to break into a car, but you don't want to look suspicious breaking into a car. So you would want to break into a car in a reasonable amount of time. If I have my keys, I'd want to press the button and then the car opens and then I get into the car. And so when you have surveillance, you're able to kind of deter criminals by seeing places that are well lit and saying, we're watching you if we're looking, but we're never going to let you know when we're looking, and you're always going to think someone's watching you. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a video of someone trying to break into a car. Has anyone seen a video of someone trying to break into a car? We have 1, 2, 3. So if you've seen a video of someone trying to break into a car, they looks suspicious usually, like pretty suspicious. Especially if you're trying to like break into the key of the car versus like someone who's just trying to hijack it from the inside or something. But the idea with surveillance is that we're able to kind of set a certain level of precedent to whatever we're trying to protect. And so one thing that I wanted to do, this is Meta's campus. This is in between MPK2 and they're 21 and 22. And I want you guys for like just like 2 minutes to like look and see what are some of the barriers of entry for this different spot. I want to give a little like notice that like this is Bayfront. The San Francisco Bay is like up here. And this is like a highway that people go on. And then from this highway south is going to be like Facebook. Think of like your longest doom scrolling experience ever. Like 30 minutes. You have stuff due at 11:59. That's where they do. So yeah, just take like 2 minutes and think of like what sections of this. This is just for context. This is a building where people develop. This is like a sky bridge. This is like an internal walkway. It's kind of difficult, but yeah. Just give me like 2 minutes. Well, I'm gonna grab some water.
Sounds good. Feel free to like shout if there's anything that stands out to you.
Before you mentioned this is Meta, I thought it was like Salt Lake City or something. Lake, it looks so far.
Yeah, that's the Marsh. Marsh Road is like over here. It smells really bad.
California is a lot more of a desert than it feels like at first.
Yeah, so does anyone have anything that they think could possibly be any type of physical security? Is that a hand raise? Is that a hand raise? No? You got a hand raise, Eddie?
The yellow bridge, whatever that is.
Yeah, so like this overpassing. And so on this overpassing, like there's this part right here. There's like an entrance. You have this over here that's also an entrance. I think that's a really good. I like that answer. Anything else? Yeah.
Hard to tell, but I think I see a little fence separating the main campus and the highway.
Yeah, like a fence right here. So for example, this is all the private property and this is all the public property that people can walk around. Yeah.
Another fence.
Another fence. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, another fence. So we have 2 fences. We have like maybe like a more public, like they're entering in to Meta, and then all of a sudden now you have like a more secure area right over here. Yeah, that's it.
Actual highway.
What'd you say?
The highway.
With like how it's built in terms of like.
Just like the position.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. That's so smart. Exactly, yeah. If you're gonna locate your building around a highway where people actually aren't, you have some sort of isolation. Yes.
Just the fact that in the middle of nowhere, people are in this region and staying in this region are like more likely to be conspicuous. Like, if this building were in like a more populated area.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. Yeah, that kind of ties into Tim's. It's interesting because I never thought of that, but yeah, exactly. It's a highway. So here you go. So I'm pointing out first just this private avenue. I know we had talked about how we had separated using fences and how we kind of have like our own private land and then more public facing land, or almost semi-private land, like you said. Nobody mentioned this and it was kind of hard to see, but they're actual like pillars that show up. So after a time, I'm so low. After a time, these pillars go up like at night and you actually can't drive through this private. Because if you can't drive through, then how are you actually going to get into the property and do something like that? And that's kind of the idea, is that certain places don't need to be accessed during certain times of the day. This is midday, so we should be able to access that, but at night, nobody should be accessing. Then this is actually a sky bridge between MPK21 and MPK22, and it's elevated. So as we had talked about with these 2 different, like this fully private to semi-private land, this sky bridge actually goes over private land. And this is a private skyway. And then we have a security gate in here, which is kind of, you wouldn't really know about it unless you were there. And then an actual private gate separating some sort of publicly or like semi-publicly accessible to fully badge. You need full access to be. And then here's a few others, just to kind of touch on surveillance a little bit more. We have cameras right here where we can kind of access and see who's driving in and who's actually going to be entering into our building. And then we have, these aren't security guards, these are construction workers, but there's some more pillars. And so this is just kind of like a case study to show you how physical security is implemented at a super, super big company. I know, kind of talking on some of the other FANG companies, I know Apple doesn't allow people who aren't in the to enter into the building at all. I know at Meta we have around 20 people we can bring a year. And so that's another way of physical security, but just kind of being able to recognize that some things are physically accessible where you're able to physically be there, and other places are a little bit less accessible and not really not able to be accessed. And then, oh yeah, and then there's another thing, there's security checks. This is on the other side of the bay. And this is a security station where if you wanted to enter into this gate, which is MPK10, then you would have to walk past a security guard, which kind of sets that precedent, similar to like a surveillance camera, and then enter in using a badge. Any questions? You guys have questions? Perfect. Yeah, and so that's about it. And now we can hand off to the Mr. Henry.
Thank you.
And talk about Lockpicking.
Do you need me to do the disclaimer? Or do you wanna cover?
You guys can do that.
No, I don't care either way. If you've got it, you got it.
First of all, Julius forgot completely everything that I said on the OSIP meeting. Now I'm going to invade Meta headquarters now. Just kidding.
This is why the OPSEC meeting is important.
Okay, so quick disclaimer, know your rights, know what is legal, know what is not. Is rape in Illinois? Like what technique?
in
Oh,
the
bump
county.
keys.
Bump keys are explicitly
Yeah.
illegal. Know your rights. The link up there should, oh, hello. Yeah, hi. Sorry, I sound goofy, but the link up there, if you are curious about whether lockpicking and how lockpicking is legal in your home state where you normally reside, you're not at school. Sorry, I kicked that. You should go to that link that you know exactly what you're doing. Sometimes owning lockpicks can make crimes you're being accused like a worse charge. That's the case in Illinois, where it's assumed that you have intent to commit a crime if you have picks on you and you perform an action to commit a crime. Stuff like that. We're not lawyers. Do your own research to some extent, especially if you're like, is this stupid to do?
Also, don't get yourself in trouble. Of course, you know what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you. Don't pick locks if you didn't ask for permission, right? So these locks and these lockpicks that we give explicit permission to, but just, you know, practice common sense. Don't break into other people's apartments and
Don't break into your own apartment. That's not your lock. And if you own a home and you are breaking into the lock on that, I know people that have broken lockpicks into their like home lock. And that's hard to explain to a locksmith. So don't do it.
Okay, so we can actually talk about lockpicking now. Why is the screen not on?
Oh, is it not?
That's kind of weird.
That's
Oh, it's on. Okay. So this is what you would usually see in a lock. This is usually, you know, what's installed on doors and, you know, apartments and whatnot. So when you think about a lock and a key, it's probably gonna be this model. So this is like the outside cylinder that actually it's this part that turns, right? This is the outside housing of it. This is the cylinder that turns. And as you can see that these pins are of different lengths. So these are usually two parts, and when they perfectly align, in the case of the key, this allows the cylinder to be turned. Otherwise, they will be stuck. So if it's misaligned, it doesn't turn. Now, in a perfect world, if everything is perfectly machined to like the millimeters, to like tens, hundreds of a
Nanometer,
millimeter.
basically.
What?
Like to the nanometer, basically.
Yeah, if everything is manufactured to the absolute perfection, you will not be able to do this because it will drop back down. However, to save cost, also this is a real world, surprise, surprise. Yeah, so they couldn't really achieve that tolerance in like a cost-efficient manner. So you have a bunch of imperfections here and there that allows them to tilt and rotate, and that basically put them in place, allows you to pick them, right? So when we pick them, for example, this may not immediately drop down when the key is not present. So you can get them all stuck, and then you can open them. So yeah, you're basically performing the role of the key without having it, and one pin at a time. So this is basically what I told, and the method is you are going to provide tension, because when you tension it, it provides friction so that the pin would not drop. Otherwise, if you use a pick to pick it up, it will drop immediately. And also set the pins in place in the shear line. Set them all in the shear line, and you will be good to go. Arguably, tension is more important than the picking itself, because you need to get the right amount of tension to make the friction little enough such that you can actually pick. If you give too hard of a tension, the pins will just not move. And then if the tension is too loose, they will drop down by themselves. There are two types, bottom and top of the keyway. Once you come and collect the lockpicks, they should be really obvious. Like the tools would be really obvious, the top and the bottom tip.
We give only bottom of keyway, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we only give bottom of the keyway, but just know that you can put them at the two locations. So this is like the top of the keyway, and this is like the bottom of the keyway. So both methods are possible because the top has cutouts. Anyway, yes, this amount of pressure is actually important because, just as I said, without the correct amount of tension, it's really hard to make progress. There are so many types of lockpicks, so many different shapes used for specific purposes, and because the keyways have so many different shapes, certain tools are better than others. But just know that there are single pin picking and there are raking. So single pin is, as I said, set one pin at a time, right? So you have, hook, whatever, to prop it up. And for rakes, it's supposed to be used.
We have a slide for that if you want.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't bother explaining here. I would show
No,
that. So yeah, so single pin picking, you first apply the tension with a tension tool, and then you use the hook to lift them one by one, not like this, but probably at an angle. But you can kind of feel which is binding, which feels hard, as indicated like this, because when it's binding, when you lift it up, you can see it doesn't actually drop. So these ones are not binding, these ones are loose, and this one is the next one that's binding. And this one is loose, that one is also loose, so that means the fifth one is binding. Now, of course, you don't actually get to see the internals of the lock unless you're actually picking clear lock. Those are just for practice purposes. You have to feel for yourselves how many pins are there, which ones are binding, which ones are loose, but usually there's a set of orders that you have to do it. Okay, so raking. This is the power of probability, also arguably the power of kinetic energy, because you rock your rake. You can see you rock your rake inside of the lock so that all the pins are moved to a random position inside of the lock, and there's a chance that they would settle binded. They would settle, as you can see, these two pins have settled on the shear line. That means these two pins are set. And then you can set those two. So you rock the rake inside of the rock inside of the lock and just rake it a couple times, and hopefully all of the pins will be set. So that's kind of the idea of raking. So instead of trial and error, instead of feeling all the pins, just rake it a couple of times. Sometimes with poorly designed locks and good techniques, you can get them raked with one try, which is amazing. Security pins. So all of these pins are like perfectly cylindrical, whatever, for demonstration purposes. But of course, people realize, okay, if they're perfectly cylindrical, all of them feel the same under a lockpick, which is not very good because for a skilled lockpicker, you can just pick, you know. So to add slightly more scrutiny, security pins are introduced. Basically, you can see that they're oddly shaped. This one is not perfectly cylindrical. So when you try to pick, it gives you a different feel, right? So if it's stuck in the middle, it might make you feel, oh, it's already binded, but it's actually not. It's not set at the shear line, but you have to set it even more. So it kind of deters low-skilled attacks. It comes in many different shapes. You could technically put a grub screw in there as a security pin, but like that's not recommended because that actually destroys the cylinder. I just saw a McNally video today, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It comes with different shapes.
Bro's doom scrolling.
All right,
Okay, so Emma is going to do a demo of raking a lock.
I'll make this quick, don't worry. Oh, we
You
should
wanna-
go. I'll make it quick, I'll make it.
Okay.
Okay. So. Wait, does that work? I'll probably it's gonna work. Okay, so the main thing I want you to see, zoom and room, is tension wrench. I'm holding the tension wrench. Honestly, this is more of a tension wrench tutorial than a raking thing because the raking is going to take 2 seconds. We'll see. So you can kind of see you put it in like kind of looks like this. You're gonna shove it in there. For this lock, I believe you're turning clockwise. Some locks, it doesn't really matter. You're safe if you do clockwise for any of these. Any of them will have today. You can see I kind of put my finger on there. I don't put too much pressure on there because if I put too much pressure on, then it's going to be hard to physically move the pins up. I'm using a city rake today. In your kits, you're going to have a wave rake, but done.
She's locked in.
I'll do that again.
Tough.
I'll do that again. Just for you. Done. It's okay if you don't rake a lock that quickly today. I've been picking locks for a while. The first time I raked a lock, it took me like a hot second to figure out like technique. And I am familiar with how this lock is like keyed. So that helps me a lot. But I hope you see for like low security locks, raking low key might take faster than finding the key. It's just kind of crazy. Okay, I'll let you go into bypass.
Yeah, also, when you're practicing picking locks, don't just pick the same lock over and over again because you actually know like how it feels like which pins you set. Ideally, you want to alternate between different locks to actually practice your skill instead of practicing how that specific lock feels. Bypass crash course. There you go, bump keys. This is not legal here, but basically it's a kinetic energy attack. Usually, so you can see all the cutouts are at the bottommost position, and usually there's a rubber ring there to prevent damage to that lock. But with the rubber ring and these, basically when you insert it really hard, usually with a hammer, it bumps all these pins upwards. So when they're all above the shear line, you can see that usually with some locks, they'll just be set within one try. You just hit it with a hammer and it opens. So it just sets them all at once. But of course, the key has to be specific to that lock, which is usually you just buy a lock of the same model, cut it to the lowest keyway, and then you do that. Shimming. This is specifically for padlocks. Is that what they're called? Yeah.
Yeah, anything that has like a.
Yeah, because padlocks sometimes they have a little latch to the ring, And then if they're unprotected, you can just have a shimming tool inserted down there so that the latch will be basically it's like a door latch, you know. Sometimes you can shove a piece of plastic or a piece of paper through, and then that actually opens the lock. This is the same technique except on this. And a knife bypass, because some locks are really poorly designed. This has been around for at least like 60, 70 years, I don't know, but basically there's this piece of metal that once you push down on it, it unlocks the lock and it's unprotected. And there's actually enough space in the keyway to allow you to press down on that piece of metal to unlock it. There are still commercial locks with this vulnerability. Just, you know, watch some McNally or Lockpicking lawyer videos before you buy them, because some of them are not good. Okay, so other weird locks. This is a tubular lock. So, you know, a ring kind of thing, and these are actually the key cutouts and whatnot. So it unlocks in this way. So usually they're in this shape. These are actually somewhat common on safes and whatnot.
Yeah, they're common on safes, common on vending machines, very common.
Yeah, also on vending machines. This detainer, this is probably your bike locks and whatnot. So you know, they have a bunch of discs and they have to be aligned in specific position. It's considered more secure, although nowadays, with the brilliant minds of with the locksmith, we have specialized tools that you just need to turn. You just need to know how to turn, and it automatically unlocks it for you. That's also true for the tubular locks. So they're not exactly more secure anymore. They're just, you know, yeah, they're just different. And for normal thieves, if they don't have specialized tools, it'll make their life really difficult. And you can take a look, but that's pretty much about it. Yeah, go pick locks. We have a bunch here. We also have lock picks. Make sure you return them because this is SIGPwny property. Don't commit trespassing. Sorry.
Don't be an idiot.
Yeah. Don't be a.
You can say it, Henry.
Yeah.
Don't be.
What?
You can call people dumbasses, I won't care.
Okay. Before you commit trespassing, just don't commit stealing here, because this
Yeah,
is
don't
SIGPwny
steal our
property.
locks. We count them and, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it hard for me to run socials and stuff if we don't have all the lock picks, because they're not gonna let me buy more if we keep losing them, okay?
Yeah, don't steal our locks, or I'm gonna find you. I did the OSINT meeting, I did the lockpicking meeting. I'm there, but
But yeah, come down for lock picks.
I think that's it, and then we have
If you.
Oh, yeah.
we have.
Do you want to just do the final announcements? Oh, next meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Just quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for next meetings, we have Pwn one with Akil, crypto with George next Thursday, and crypto too. So come out and hope you guys enjoyed SIGPwny.
Only is fun.
Let's put the flag. up
Yeah,
there.
there you go. I think I set it up. Okay, perfect. If you can turn it off.
Scale block picking meetings, I'm gonna say I part as collateral. You have another ID, I can use as collateral. I'm just going asking people like driver's licenses and stuff.
Do you like my phone case or something? I don't know.
You can also, if you're sharing one friend, it's not like most of your house. Give me a right. Mostly.
No, the reverse engine.
Yeah, okay, so we got three plots. We got.
One of their counties.
Raise your hand if you've never picked a lock.
One of the.
Okay, good. Amazing. Okay, I will actually say.
That's literally one here. Esau is not very good at that.
I know you, Julius, I can find.
Oh no.